with us on the podcast. So, what is this?
This is a personal air conditioner.
Yeah. Oh, it's a personal air conditioner. May
Kind
I?
of.
Welcome to Voice Podcast. Today, as guest, we have the living proof of a genius. I should say. His name is Cian Rodgers. He basically, right now, repaired the sound system of my podcast just with a touch of his magic touch. How do you call it? The magic touch?
It's the magic touch.
Magic touch. So, without wasting any time, which we've lost so far, I'm introducing you to Cian Rodgers. He is in a fabulous program, which is
Computer programming analysis.
Computer Programming Analysis, and that's so amazing. So, Cian, the first time I met you, I was recording an episode, and like you said, you wanted to be on the podcast, and I said, yeah, so what? And your pitch was like, you basically can repair everything which is like computers, everything from any ages, basically, since existence. How did that started? Just give us a bit of a background of, what do you do? Like, you have a business also as well. And so what do you repair, basically?
I repair if you can hold it in your hands, I can probably repair it. Mechanical, as in cars and engines, not so much, but car speakers, the wiring, electronics, microphones, cameras, phones, laptops. If you can hold it.
Mm-hmm. And for example, like for this episode, we really have like a lot of fancy stuff. For example, like right now, we do have things which I don't know. Like there's a thing which I'm pretty scared, I'll be honest. It looks like it's about to blow up with us on the podcast. So, what is this?
This is a personal air conditioner.
Yeah. Oh, it's a personal air conditioner.
Kind of.
Yeah.
This plate gets really, really cold.
Really. This thing gets things really cold.
Yeah, and the other side gets really hot. It's piezoelectric.
So it's a heater and it's an air conditioner. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
As in, it doesn't blow cool air, it just gets really, really cold here, and you can hold it against your head.
Okay. Like that.
It has to be plugged in.
It has to be plugged in, definitely.
Which I would not recommend right now.
Okay, yeah, I'll leave it. Yeah, I don't want to get all messed up. But what? So, this thing was, how long did you take? How did you come to build that thing? That thing, I'm sorry, your air conditioner, your personal air.
Just the thing. Last year I was at school and I thought, hey, it's so hot. Wouldn't it be so funny if somebody just had a little air conditioner in their hand that you could put up against your head to cool yourself down? And somebody else said, yeah, that would be pretty funny. So I went home and I just slapped it together. This is a power supply out of the inside of a terminal at the grocery store. This is just a CPU cooler from a computer. This is a thermoelectric cooler. One side gets hot, one side gets really cold.
Wow.
Because of fancy physics. And if you cool down the hot side, the cold side gets even colder. And this is just a 5-volt regulator that I built.
And
it's just hooked up together, runs off 12 volts.
Yeah. That's like, even if I don't understand most of the term regulators and stuff like that.
Cold
regulators.
It gets cold.
Gets cold.
That's it.
And so now speaking about, this has been your passion, right?
Yeah.
When did it all start? Like you decided that you're going to repair everything that you can literally hold in your hands.
Well, first it started as computer programming. 2 years ago, grade 11, I took my first computer programming course. And just everything clicked. People say after a month of language, it just clicks. For me, that course was the click for what I would want to do. Before the plan was the military or just a 9-to-5.
Yeah.
But then for like 8 months, every single day, I spent all of my time learning computer programming and C# specifically. The absolute basics, learning them 100%. So I could go on to learn other languages.
Yeah.
And then somebody gave me a microwave, and I tore that apart in a shed outside.
Yeah.
I did that for a couple weeks, And then I took a big wooden bench and I moved it into the storage side of the garage. And over months and months and months, it just kept getting bigger. I would sort and collect capacitors and magnetrons and transformers and just little electrical components. I got my first soldering iron. It was $15 from Princess Auto. And I've moved up and up and up and up. And the garage has slowly been cleared backwards. Yeah. So the space keeps expanding. And now I've got drawers and I've got equipment and I've got just printers and storage and everything is sorted.
And so you would say like the first thing which you ever repaired was a microwave?
No, the first thing I ever tore apart in a professional capacity was a microwave. I've been tearing things apart since I was a little kid. I had a collection of circuit boards. Yeah.
Oh, so it's something like since like a young age.
Yeah, since very, very young age. I would just tear things apart so I could look at it.
So did it start by yourself? Like you just like, for example, how old were you? Can you recall how old you were when you started tearing like those things apart?
Toddler,
wow.
My dad, he was one of those kind of techie guys. We had a DS Lite and he had a box of parts that he would swap them out with, and I wanted to be like him, so I tore apart a bunch of my toys and collected the circuit boards. And then I got worried that they would get mad, and I cried and I put it all into a box and hid it under my bed.
That's cute though. Like you were caring, cautious of your parents, but also I think you were scared also. Like oh my god, like am I going to get like scolded or everything like that? You know, like but hey, like just like I think it's the curiosity aspect of it. You know, like just and how did you, as you grew as a teenager, started to feel like that programming course was the moment it clicked? Like say
no lead up. There wasn't any lead up. The summer before the start of the programming course, I worked as a farmer.
Okay.
I had a couple fields I tended to by hand. When I turned like 10, I was kind of anti-technology. I didn't want to play on the game systems. I wanted to go outside. I wanted to do big manly things, be a big man. But then as I grew older, I was still anti-technology because of other factors in my life. People I didn't like or who were actually really techie. But then I got that course and it just clicked and I realized I can do what I want.
And like, so would you say like for you it was, how was the learning experience the first time? Like you were, like you said professionally wise, you was the microwave. How was it as an experience doing it the first time? Like, hey, I need to repair that.
I was hungry. I was hungry for knowledge. I wanted to learn. I'm going to stop touching the table.
We can do some beats with that. Sound. You have something to record. Anyways, like, so how long did it take you? Like, few weeks to repair the microwave?
Oh no, I didn't repair it.
Yeah.
I just tore it apart and collected if I can't fix something and it belongs to me fully, I tear it apart to its absolute extent. If it can be taken apart without breaking it, it comes apart, and I sort the parts. And whenever I can't use like the supporting pieces of plastic or the metal enclosure, goes to scrap.
Okay.
And I just kept those components.
So would you like when it belongs to you? So what do you specifically learn when you break things apart? Like what's the outcome of learning?
I learn how they should work. I learn how they should act. So if I had another microwave that came in and I saw something that looked out of place compared to that first microwave I took apart, then I know I should probably start there in the repair process.
And would you say like you remember every stuff that you repair?
No.
No, like
I've taken apart so many microwaves. You have to take apart a bunch of that thing, for me at least, to get a general understanding of how it should work.
That's like, to me it's so amazing because for me like basically what I can repair like my sink and stuff like that, but if I get into techie stuff, like there's so many wires, there's so many things which needs to be comprehended in terms of electrics. So how would you say like if someone's starting to learn those stuff, how to start? How would you say like
get something you own that's yours, that's broken or just not usable anymore or will be thrown out? Tear it apart as cleanly as possible. If you need to kind of pry it open and break it, do it. Just see what the process is of taking it apart.
And and one thing which really impressed me, like when you say like you wanted to be on the podcast, was like you showed me some pictures of stuff that you had, and there's one thing that you showed me which seems out of my mind. Like, I didn't know, like, Microsoft has such old, if we can call it a PC.
It's the PC 7000.
It's a PC 7000.
The Sharp PC
I think I'll show it to everyone. Okay, this is the first time we're going to make people visit actually the surrounding of the podcast, how it looks like. So, pardon for the messy style. Yeah. So I'm just going to rotate the camera and we're going to show people basically how it is. And so let's go and see this beautiful piece of art that you've got. Just zoom in on that.
It's the Sharp PC 7000. So this runs on 5.5-inch floppy drives. There's 2 slots. Oh, listen to that. It's not gonna boot into Windows. It's not gonna boot into Linux or Mac OS. This is it. It's a command line interface. There was no GUI. GUI is graphical user interface. It's like the mouse dragging across Windows. That's a GUI. That's not here. This is it. This is all it is.
I think you can bring it closer. No, you can't bring it. It's like something which, it's all cables and stuff, right?
Yeah, but it's plugged into the wall.
Yeah.
It's a portable computer.
Yeah.
As in you can pick it up because this weighs 19 pounds.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was basically meant to be transported and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was one of the first portable computers.
That's amazing. So what would people do with this back in the days?
Accounting, mostly.
Accounting?
Yeah,
okay.
That was, if you had this, you were an accountant.
And how would you, like, use it? So were there, like, things like, like pen drives, or there were no such things, I guess, at this point? You had to give something to your colleague, like, hey,
like sets of data, like somebody's, like your Instagram profile. My hearing, it's a duck. Your Instagram profile, all the data from that would be in a set, and then it would be organized, and it could be stored in this, like a databases of different information, and that's useful because you don't have to have it on paper. You can copy this seamlessly en masse and just hand it out.
That's amazing, and I guess it's not a lot of gigabytes or megabytes.
A couple megabytes.
Like, when did you start, Afrotech, what is it?
Afrotech Computers.
Afrotech Computers, yeah. How long have you started this business?
Year and a half.
Year and a half?
Yeah.
And how do you find it? Like, for example, like you're a student managing a business and also coming to a college, and how is it for you?
It's great. I make enough to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm comfortable enough that I don't have to stress so much about it.
Yeah. So, like, and how did you start to get people to, hey, I repair stuff, like, I just started. How would you get people to start coming to you?
Like Facebook groups, local Facebook groups, people asking for tech support, or family friends saying, hey, do you have a techie son? That's a stereotype, having a techie son that goes and does things for people.
Yeah.
A lot of word of mouth, like a lot of it, and lately it's been the business cards.
Yeah, and would you say like people are impressed by your skill, like what you do, like at such a young age, being so responsible and also delivering like a satisfaction of service, like, and
I'd say it's more shock.
Yeah. Because some people will say like, oh, but you're just out of college or still in college, or like, oh, I might not trust, but you're super good. I've seen your works, your photos, which you sent me. Like, I'm all wild, and it's like you're a genius. To me, like you're a genius. Like how you did all this just in 1.5 and 2 years, and that's amazing. I think it's just inspiring to hear someone just do that in 2 years' time. And I myself, like, I just started a new course, so I think just to become half of what you do in terms of pure talent.
I'm 2 things. I repair things in 3 things. I refurbish things that I get from scrap or just buy broken and sell them. That's my biggest point of sale. Second biggest is mobile repair tech. I go to you to repair your things, whether it be your printer, your computer, your laptop, your phone. Mm-hmm. This bag weighs, I carry this every day, and it weighs like 40 pounds. It's
40
full of
pounds.
tools.
Let's get it. Let me get it. Shut back. Yeah, it's heavy, and I lift heavy. Oh, you okay? Oh, be careful.
Yeah, the cord.
Yeah. So what's in these 40 pounds of bag?
There's a lot of pry tools, a lot of screwdrivers, a lot of bits, just a lot of tools to ensure I can open something the right way.
Yeah, and how do you open things the right way? So, like
if somebody has the wrong size bit to open something, they're gonna strip the screw, and if they strip the screw, they're gonna have to press way harder. Yeah. If they press way harder, they're gonna break something.
So definitely, just by pressing something you're trying to can break something inside.
A hard drive will break with a hard fart against it. Just things break all the time for no reason at all sometimes. And if they're gonna break for no reason at all, they're gonna break because of something bad way easier.
Wow. So like basically it's not to touch it, you know, like if I have something like something is broken, like my roadcaster is broken, I don't try to just push around with it or do stuff.
You should. I encourage it. Do it. See how it works. See if you know what's broken, you can fix it. So to opening things properly.
We're going to see that right now. Let's go.
Like you would have like one little pry tool. You've seen little plastic ones in online repair things. These are all tools specifically made for prying things open the right way.
Okay.
Wow. You could have one or you could have this.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
How did you get hold of all of this? My goodness.
This, and this came from one kit. And then all the color ones came from one kit. And this came from one kit. And I just bought this at Princess Auto. It's a tiny little pry bar.
Wow. Look at that, how cute it is. It's like usually there's big stuff to, you know, like clog and everything. So that's cute.
Yeah.
So basically all of these can open everything, right?
Most things, yeah.
Most things. What's one of stuff that you received from people or that you bought is still impress you to this day that you had to open and I'm like, wow, this is hard to open?
Like a hard thing to open?
Yeah.
Laptop screens.
Laptop screens.
Laptop screens, like the little ridge around it.
Oh yeah.
Use this here specifically. It's made specifically for laptops and laptop screens.
Oh, right.
It's curved, so you can get in and then push and pull to undo the clips without breaking the plastic.
That's amazing. So like this side, I use it and I just...
That's just for getting in and starting it.
Getting in and starting it. Without breaking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a way to do it without breaking it, right?
Yeah. And then this would be just you stick it in to hold it open so you can go to a different spot and pry.
All right. So different spot. I've opened it here. Then I just go like that.
Then just wedge that in and then take this and pry along different spots. Undo all the clips around it.
Okay. It's like a dentist works. Like
yeah, I have. Thing is, I have dental picks for cleaning. Like
the
like phone charging ports or AirPods or...
Oh yeah, I think it's cool. Like, hey, it's sometimes you can't clean up things like that, and I would never imagine using a dentist stuff into a tech thing, but hey, that's innovative.
A way to do it without breaking it.
And when you started the programming course, was it like all by yourself or someone that inspired you to get into really repairing everything?
I was frustrated seeing how easy it was to fix things, but people were just throwing them away because they would rather buy a new one than have it fixed.
Yeah, basic things which people like out of a blue, they took like 30 minutes, 1 hour, they would probably fix it.
Yeah.
If they could.
Yeah. If you know, like even absolute basics, like, hey, there's something loose in here, I should probably find where that is and put it back. That's it. Yeah,
some of those stuff are like very much like this, but like internally, like for example, like I have, for example, a laptop which is like like the screen is not displaying anything like that, or my keyboard is not, any keys are not working. Would you say like if I opened it up and I just focus really 1 hour,
the magic touch, take everything apart and just kind of clean it a little bit and then put it all back together. Yeah. Maybe it was a connection issue, maybe it was a RAM issue, maybe it was something else. Yeah. Take it all apart and put it back together.
Yeah. And because sometimes people like they prefer to buy something new because there's that trust factor.
Yeah.
And also like because I think it's very, very technical what you do. It's like I think like not many people, 90% of people would be like, nada, I'm not touching it. But also there's a trust factor. But do I trust a technician or that thing like that? Because people get scammed so much.
Yes.
Oh, but like there's so much more that happened into your. There was this issue which I thought was the first one, but actually when we look at it now, there are 3, 4 issues, and this is going to cost like a lot. So would you think like this has been like a very bad practice which people like have been doing? Like,
it's a practice which technical people, like actual people who are very techy and can kind of repair things, they get too confident in what they can do, and then they end up breaking something. I did that for the first couple months, the first year-ish. I worked mostly with devices I owned, so I could break them and I could make those mistakes, so it didn't happen to other people's things. And now I only do something if I'm nearly 100% confident I can do it without causing further damage or breaking it.
That's absolutely amazing. And to this day, how would you say on a like count stuff you've repaired? How many have you repaired to
Hundreds,
this day?
A couple thousand.
Wow, thousands! Like 2 years, it's like 600 days. So you're on average like
several. A lot of things that come in just need simple fixes. Like you said, people get scammed all the time. And I said dental picks for clean charging ports. I had a guy come in. He got quoted $150 for a full charging port replacement at U-Break iFix. And he brings it to me, and it's just compacted lint inside of his charging port that I had to get out with a dental pick.
Wow.
And that was it. I charged him $5.
That's so messed up though. Like how
I have seen laptops brought to me where the technicians, it was like a simple thing that was broken, maybe the screen was broken, but they bring it in, and then the technician, all these other things are fixed. I once had a laptop where all the connectors were disconnected, and the tech did that so he could show the person, hey, I replaced the screen, but nothing else is working.
What the hell?
To scam them.
It's like, and how is it like, how do people, how do you know like this is a trusted tech guy which I can go to? Like, for example, not everyone can come to you, Cian. But if St.LawrenceCollege has stuff to repair, hey, give your business to Cian. He's amazing, and he will do it genuinely, and he's learning also, and he's super good, just really super good. But what would you say to people like who are, for example, like in Vancouver or Montreal who are listening to this, like how to spot a genuine tech guy like who could repair your stuff?
If your friend recommends somebody, maybe go to them. But if multiple random people with no connection to each other recommend somebody, go to that person. Because a friend of a friend can be like, oh, hey, I know a guy, he's pretty tech, he can probably fix this. Or you can get a tech with an actual reputation with multiple people that aren't connected to each other.
Yeah. That's like, so word of mouth, basically, like...
Word of mouth.
Yeah. That's how we know each other, like word of mouth meeting. Like that. We just started talking, basically. And so what would you say, like, what needs to change into your industry, into what you're doing?
Access to repairability. It is a thing called right to repair. Apple is against it. They don't like people repairing their phones. They want you to bring it to them so they can just sell you a new one.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, they serialized the screens so that when you replaced the screen, there wasn't any Face ID and there wasn't any touch, like fingerprint sensor, because the serial numbers didn't match. So you had to buy like a third-party reprogrammer to reserialize it. Apple didn't approve of the reserializing, but you had to buy a really expensive tool to reserialize it and get Face ID and True Tone and fingerprint sensor back.
So basically, it's better to buy a new phone at this point.
Well, no, you can live with that. You can live without those things perfectly fine. But recently, they got in some legal trouble, so now that's gone. Yeah, so now you can just replace the screen, and nothing happens.
And how would you say how crucial it is to have a right to repair?
Very crucial. If nobody ever has to come to me to have their things fixed ever again, I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yeah.
If they know how to fix it, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's true. Like, because it goes very core, like to what you say. Like, repairing things is like making people autonomous. Like, like I bought something. It's my property, and it's my right to do like whatever. Yeah. If I feel in the right capabilities to repair it, I can repair it. or it's like basically just telling people, oh, that you're hang on to me, like, yeah, so you just need to be that way. So it's pretty scary in a kind of way, like if you cannot like repair your stuff. And how would you say, like, on your side, like what's one good thing about repairing in your daily life? Like, what do you love so much, like every day discovering new things?
Yeah, I love understanding how things work.
Mm-hmm.
I love making things too, so the more I repair things, the more I can understand how those professionally made circuits work and operate, and I can integrate that into my own creations.
Yeah. And now we're going to more fun stuff. Like, I'm going to ask you to rank. We are going to do a sort of ranking.
Oh.
Like, rank to us, like, the best top 5 devices you've ever worked on.
The Android A52, the phone.
Android A52.
I love it. It's my phone.
Yeah?
I've repaired it so many times. It's so modular. The chips are public. The schematics are public. The rest, I don't know the specific names, but laptops with lots of modules in them, so you can just replace that instead of going in with do expensive board work.
Yeah.
Phones that don't have completely impossible seals, like some phones glue it down with super glue or something similar. Phones that are easy to open, anything that's easy to open, things that have been opened before, like iPads.
Yeah.
iPad screens are a pain to get off because you get stabbed with glass all the time. But if somebody's I've got so many little cuts over.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
If somebody's repaired it before, there's weaker glue on it. So second time repair iPads, and then that was really fun to repair the PC 7000. I spent like a good month on it.
Yeah.
There was a couple chips and every single capacitor had to be replaced.
And where did you get this PC?
A little bit of background. Do you know what a dictaphone is?
No.
Do you know what a cassette player is?
No. Do you know? If you know, drop in the comment what it is.
You know what a VHS is?
VHS, yes.
Do you know the small VHSs that have music on them?
Yeah.
That's a cassette.
Like the Walkman?
Yep, Walkman.
Yeah.
And there's Office ones that like they used way back in the 80s. And it's the dictaphone company. They went out of business. One of their technicians took a ton of stuff home.
Yeah.
And just worked on it until he was like 80, and then he gave it all to me.
Amazing. So you got all of this stuff.
I have so many dictaphone cassette players and Sony Walkmans. It's insane. And I got that along with it.
And those are super cool. I'm sure like some people would love to collect them, you know. And it can't sell pretty much because they are so rare to find.
Well, if I list them all at once, people in this area are going to see that they're saturated and offer me a lower price. I got to sell them off slowly. Yeah,
very, very like a smart choice. And so to find the pieces to repair it, like, was it difficult?
Frankenstein them together.
Yeah.
Just use other broken ones.
Yeah. And that's so amazing. Like, it's a thing which I never knew existed. Like, I kind of sense there was a history to it, but seeing in front of me like that, I'm like, and to how the world has evolved to like a MacBook, which is right there, which is mine. It's amazing. It started with something small and it's back again to something small. And it's just great how innovation and technology just goes so fast nowadays. And would you say like it's a big challenge for you? Like that technology changes at a much rapid pace?
I love it.
You love it?
I love it. There's more to learn.
Yeah. And you think like it's that first of always learning that keeps you going?
Yeah.
And what would you think, like, what is one thing that you think that humanity has yet to experience that will be invented?
Will be invented?
Yeah, like, you know, like in the 2010s, like inventing this iPhone basically revolutionized the world with a smartphone. What do you think is the next invention which is going to revolutionize humanity?
Quantum computing. Quantum computers.
Yeah.
So that works off zeros and ones, binary math.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very limited understanding of this. Please don't yell at me if I'm wrong. But quantum computers work on 0 and 1 and a state between that's either 0 or 1.
Mm-hmm.
Or both, or...
Yeah. So what does that mean, actually? So this one works with, again, I'm sorry, like 0 to 0.
Zeros and ones.
Zeros binary. And ones. Binary. And would you say, like, quantum is in between 0 and 1, or can be both, right? If I get my quick tutorial from you, right?
For me, the way I see it is, yes, they work off that, but also statistics and like infographics, those on a world scale, those take a long, long time to calculate. Quantum computers can do it like that.
Yeah. And so what's the gap for innovation technology to reach quantum? What's lacking for it to reach that level?
The place where all the calculations are done has to be like -100 at -200 C.
What does that mean?
-200 Celsius or colder,
wow.
like really, really cold. And if there's any vibration or movement, the whole thing has to be recalibrated.
So it should be like in somewhere where there's no movement.
The CPU is about this big.
Yeah.
And the machine that cools it and runs it and keeps it stable and does the and feeds it calculations.
Yeah.
Is like from here. It's this big. This whole room.
Is this whole room?
Yeah.
For just one
to stabilize and keep one little processor. Running.
And so this is the CPU. So what's the computer going to look like? That doesn't make like a big difference. But what would quantum bring to change in terms of like?
I don't think we're ever gonna have it in laptops ever.
Yeah, if quantum comes to.
You can simulate quantum. You can do the calculations on your phone.
Yeah.
But it'll be far, far slower.
Mm-hmm.
It'll probably be in places like data centers, like Google's data centers, or like supercomputers.
Yeah.
For a lot of militaries use supercomputers for calculating. I don't even know. They won't tell us.
Yeah, they won't. But what would you think? Like, why will it revolutionize human life?
Everything revolutionizes. I don't understand. Everything revolutionizes human life.
No, but quantum, like, so, like, smartphone for me, like, revolutionized. Like, I haven't seen something like, surely social media, along with smartphone, for me, has changed how society lives forever. So, I mean, in that way, how, because, like, for example, before social media,
it'll revolutionize humanity behind the scenes.
Okay.
Like, trucking routes faster, more optimized. Everything. Revolutionizing technology is just optimizing life. Shorter paths, shorter times, better efficiency. Some things will be cheaper, some things will be more expensive. It could calculate shipping routes across the entire world better. Like,
would you say, like, for example, when you say about routes, would it help, like, for example, urban engineers into better, like, hey, I need to build this new road and stuff like that? And
an AI created a 3D model of a really, really good fuel injector for a rocket, and they 3D printed it and they used it.
Amazing. So without the help of anyone.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it worked really, really, really well. They're 3D printing rockets now.
That's so cool. Like, I don't even know that. So, like, that's amazing. Like, that it just can happen like that. You know, like, something just, hey, that's your 3D rocket.
Yeah.
Take it. Yeah.
I think the build time is 90 days.
90 days.
90 days for a rocket.
Yeah. Was it a big rocket or was it like a
small? Like a big rocket, like a NASA rocket.
Oh wow. That's big. Yeah. And what was it used for?
Like refueling the space station is a lot of space missions. And just going up, refueling the space station, collecting data, connecting to satellites, going up, repairing satellites.
Yeah.
Do they repair? I wonder if they do repair satellites.
I think so. I think it needs maintenance.
But it's going so fast.
I don't know. Would you like to repair satellites?
Probably not. I don't want to get hit by a chunk of metal going 1,300 kilometers an hour.
Yeah. But like spaceships, how like I think they should have like like guys who repair spaceships when they go.
Well, yeah, space stations, but not singular satellites that don't they don't have people on them.
Yeah,
they just operate autonomously.
That's just amazing. Like how there are some things which are just up in space, which connects to your TV, to your like whichever connects everyone. It's just up there, like
It's down there.
down there.
Fiber optic cable. So light is light's pretty fast. Light is it's about the speed of light, and satellites, they do play a huge part in global communication, but so do underground fiber optic cables. Like, they run across the bottom of the sea all the way to the other continents. And that's what carries most of the data between continents. Satellites carry a big chunk, but they carry the most important stuff, like government level stuff for social media, like Facebook, Google, Instagram. It's just fiber optic cables in the sea. In a lower area of Europe, a lady was looking for scrap metal beside a railway, and she was digging, and she hit something, and she severed a fiber optic cable, and a bunch of countries lost internet. Like, whole countries lost their internet access because this lady tried to dig up a fiber optic cable for scrap metal, and she broke it.
It's pretty much funny how just like it comes to one person just clacking like a fiber and a whole country like just losing internet connection. Like, and they should have been there. Oh, what's happening? You know, like, and how did they come to realize? Oh, but this lady was vandalizing our.
Okay, because there's relay stations every 50 kilometers or so. There has to be a relay station because the light goes like that and goes across, but it weakens. And so the relay station just picks it up and makes the signal stronger. And so whichever relay station stops receiving data, they know that the fault is between those two relay stations, so they can look across that instead of looking across the entire thing.
Wow. That's super amazing. It's just knowledge for me. I just approve. Like, yeah, I agree with you.
Old lady takes out internet of multiple countries.
Old lady. Poor old lady must be like, just, hey, I just want to sell some stuff.
She just wants some metal.
She just wants some metal. I take it. It's there. It's nobody's person. How would you think like people like basically, ma'am, you're like hitting private property here, so it's...
No, it was... The lines are so long that it was beside an actual railway track.
Okay.
And for railway tracks, technically it's trespassing, but they'll just tell you to get lost, really.
Yeah.
And if it's in the middle of nowhere, nobody's going to stop you.
Yeah. That's it. And now, like, you have a lot of stuff behind me. Like, basically, like, you came with a lot of stuff to show. And I think everyone would love to see what you brought so far.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Well, this is a thermal imager. So if a motherboard has a fault on it where it's a short and things are connecting where it shouldn't be, that's going to draw a lot of current. And a lot of current means a lot of heat. So instead of spending 10 hours going through a board and trying to find the fault, I can take this and get thermal images of the board and see which area or even which component has the fault on it and has a lot of heat.
Wow.
Or if it's a different kind of fault, then I know that and I know not to look for shorts. So I'll just turn it back on.
So let me see wow. So how does this help you? So
it helps me by cutting down diagnostic time. Repairing electronics at the board level, replacing the components, that's the easiest part. Replacing the things and actually fixing them. Finding the broken bits, that's the hardest part.
And how do...
When you press the trigger, it takes a picture.
Oh, it takes a picture. Yeah. Okay.
And the arrows increase the thermal signature.
Yeah.
Or decrease it so you can actually see what you're looking at.
Okay, so I know like my camera is heating up right now because it's getting...
Yeah, you can see the camera.
Wow. That's cool.
From all the way over here, the max is 29 degrees Celsius. It's hotter than that just because it's farther away. It's picking up less.
Yeah, so if I become closer, it will be like much, because I know it's hotter because like as soon as it goes over 40 minutes, it starts heating up. And like...
I got that for relatively dead cheap. It was only like 230.
Let me see this one. Like, let's see like this PC.
That's not even turned on.
It's not turned on, so yeah. Microphone. Roller coaster. Let's see the roller coaster. This thing which
this is cold.
So what's is it going to say?
It's cold.
Cold.
It's cold-ish. Turn the heat signature. That just shows you more of the heat signature and less of the camera.
Okay, so purple is cold.
Purple is cold, hot is red.
Hot is red. Okay. Amazing. I want one. I want... What's it about you? What does it say? Oh, your head is hot.
I think I'm
your head is hot.
You call me hot-headed?
Yeah, man.
It's the hair.
Look at you, the head is hot.
Hot-headed.
But it's like amber. It's like amber. So like the head is hot. How about me? Like what does that say?
Says you're pretty hot. Yeah, your head's pretty hot.
Back you.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the thing which like the brain is like super like it's one of the thing which are.
The brain is relatively low wattage. Like.
How do I switch it off? I don't want to break. Oh
The TDP of the brain is pretty low.
That's amazing. I now I feel like I need to have one, like just to play around.
This right here.
Yeah.
So on an oscilloscope measured, for me, what I know is an oscilloscope measures the waveform of electricity and allows you to see it. This is a tiny little pocket oscilloscope, and it allows me. Like if I need to measure a signal going to a power switching circuit on a laptop, I just use this and I can see if it's giving me trouble. So those two lines, the two lines on it, there's two lines in, and then using these probes I can measure it. And this is also something called a function generator. So it generates kind of wave. There's triangle waves and then sine waves and square waves. Right now this is a 1 kilohertz square wave, and kilohertz is in it goes like that 1,000 times a second. That's when you hear like a 60 hertz monitor, the refresh rate it refreshes 60 times per second.
Yeah. Then we have one bar which is up. Okay.
1 kilohertz square wave-ish. So that shows the positive and negative wave. And this is a really, really useful tool for me. I use this every single day.
And how is it useful to you? Like what does it do? Remind me again.
It shows me the waveform of electricity. So
in simple terms, like so waveform.
If you want to change the voltage from like 12 volts to 15 volts, you can do two things. You can use a switching regulator or a linear regulator. A linear regulator changes the voltage and then gives off the rest of the voltage as excess heat, which isn't good. You don't want excess heat in the circuit. But that's what this is. This is a linear regulator on my little air conditioning thing. That's why there's a black block on it. That black block is used to dissipate the heat.
This one.
This.
Oh.
Right here.
Yeah. This little thing. Just this little thing.
Yeah. And then switches it back and forth in such a way that it creates a different voltage, and that creates very little excess heat. And if I look up the data sheet of whatever chip is on that circuit and I look at the functioning range, if the switching is outside of that functioning range, I know that that whatever circuit is trying to give the signal is broken instead of the regulator itself.
That's amazing. So it helps you a lot. It saves you a lot of time and gets you directly to the point.
Well, without that, I wouldn't be able to diagnose anything.
Yeah.
Well, this too.
Oh, this one I have seen it.
You've seen one of these. This is a multimeter. This is it's a Fluke ET88.
Yeah, it's like to test electricity in the circuit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fluke is like the industry standard. They're the top of the line guys. I got this for free. I found it in scrap, and the display was smashed. I found it in scrap, and the display, it was smashed, and I replaced it with one I had on hand. And now I have like a $400 to $600 multimeter for free.
Yeah, it's like super expensive. Like I couldn't like realize the price of it when I was working. Like the technician guy was saying, "Hey, this is expensive." Like yeah. Wow.
And that's the cheaper end.
It looks cheap, but it's actually super expensive.
So I have a bigger oscilloscope, but it's older, but I use it. It goes up to like 10 megahertz, so billion,
Mm-hmm.
10 million switches a second it can measure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure. This is only 1 megahertz, and for like this was $100. The small one I got for free, or sorry, the big one I got free. I repaired it. The most expensive oscilloscope I've ever seen in person was $100,000.
What is it used for?
Measuring.
Oh, yeah, it's I understand.
I don't even know. I don't even know how to use it to its full extent. That's how insane it is. That a lot of learning for me is learning how to use tools.
Yeah.
Like there's entire classes, whole several month classes on how to use tools.
That's just great. And what is this one? That little
this on it,
like the gray box stuff.
Shipmasters 3000. This is really old. So in a desktop, if you ever hear the term bricked, it means that the BIOS has been corrupted and there's no way to update the BIOS, and it's just completely gone. The BIOS is what controls all the little bits of it. If you want to reprogram the BIOS, that's not feasible for an everyday hobbyist. But if you have one of these, this reprograms BIOS chips, or it reprograms whatever chip I want it to whatever I upload through this serial port. And I just do this, put the pins in the corresponding slots, plug it into my computer, and re-upload it, and that way I can fix bricked motherboards, which otherwise would go to scrap and be completely wasted when they cost up to several $100s.
And would you say like this helps a lot into like saving a lot of like equipments or materials which are needed to...
It stops things from going to waste. That's one of my biggest things. I don't like seeing things go to waste.
And like, would you say like your approach that you take to your business helps reduce waste consequently if everyone were to do it?
Yeah. I try to recycle or go put things in the metal scrap as much as possible. So like even the plastic gets sorted, and the metal, it all gets sorted, and everything I take apart. And I have this big industrial trash bag. It's like 30 gallons. Mm-hmm. I have it in a big thing, and I have to take that out and replace it like every 3 weeks only, because everything else goes to recycling or scrap.
That's amazing. And I guess like this could be such a game changer, just having all the things scrapped up, like repaired. And how would you say like how people should dispose their electronic waste if they were...
Go to e-waste centers. An e-waste center, go to Kimco Steel if you're in Kingston. Mm-hmm. If you have electronics, mm-hmm. I take them and I dispose of them, or I use them. Mm-hmm. But if you don't feel comfortable, or if you don't want to do that, or if you just want to make it easier, Kimco Steel, it's like actually pretty close by. They take e-waste and metal, and you can just dump it. You can just go.
So I don't need to scrap everything. I just dump it there.
Yeah. When I say scrap, I mean tear it apart to its entirety. Scrapping is just the act of throwing it into a metal bin for a lot of people.
And would you say like to learn all of this take much like all the time of your life to do, or do you think like you get it very easily for you?
I think you need to understand how things should work before you can understand how they actually do work. Like there's a heater over there. I don't know exactly how that heater works, but I know how a heater should work. So if I were to take the cover off that, I would be able to identify the different parts of it without actually having the schematics for that one specifically in my hands.
My goodness, we've been speaking a lot.
Yeah. Is this... No, this is like a normal conversation for me.
Like it's pretty much getting it conversational. Like
I spend a lot of I have autism, and for a long time I struggled with social situation and understanding how social situations should work.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time thinking of scenarios and how to best deal with them in my head.
Yeah. So how again autism, like it's something which I never really like research what it is really.
Neither did I.
I know it's here, but I basically don't distinguish between people. Like like for me, everyone is like the same. Whatever. Yeah. It's just like I didn't even know you had autism, so I was like, yeah.
For me, I don't care.
I don't care.
Do what you want, but some people do care, and that's their right. They can do what they want. I live by a bunch of phrases. One of them is do what you want, but deal with it.
Sure, I truly reach you. That's the first time. It's a motto which I really live to. In my head, it's like we all have free will to do what we want to do in life because our life is ours. Your life is yours. It's a gift to you. It's yours to do. But also know that everything you do has a consequence, has a reaction. So if it's something good, take credibility, take every recognition you can from it. And if it's bad, take accountability and try to find a solution. And if you can't, at least apologize for what you did. That's basically, it's what you said is simply like in a shorter term. But I do agree with you on that, like life is about living and learning, basically. We are not all born like, if we were all born just, hey, I know everything, what's the point of living?
Yeah.
Like,
if you don't make mistakes, you don't know how to learn better.
You don't know. And it just like, people, I think, nowadays just want that instant gratification, I want everything, like that hard work which goes behind the doors, or the sweat and tears, the nights not going out and stuff like that.
But then again, that's their opinion. They do what they want.
They do what they want, and that's so cool about it. It's like, that's what cool, like, sometimes I find myself in conflict with, like, oh, should I really do this or do that? It's like, still,
Another really good one for explaining impossible situations is technically yes, but practically no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, technically, yes, I could work hard and build an entire house all by myself. Technically, yes, I could do that, but practically, no, I'm not going. I don't practically, no, not even.
It's not like you need people. Like, it's just about giving time and resource to the best people, to what they can do. Like, there are things which I can't do. I give it to the best people. Tomorrow I can surely technically one day repair my roadcaster. Know why it's working this way, not. But do I have the time? Do I don't have the time? No. So I will leave it to Cian, who will actually have fun with it.
And it even works for like YouTube. All the numbers and letters that come after a YouTube video up on the link? That's generated by a formula. Technically, yes, there is an end to that formula. Technically, you could have so many YouTube videos that every single address is taken up within that space. Practically, no, that's never going to happen. There would be so many YouTube videos that the numbers, it would be like hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands of years before that happens. And it's never going to be around that long.
You think YouTube will disappear one day?
Yeah. YouTube's going to disappear one day. Twitch is going to disappear one day.
Yeah.
Twitch is going to disappear soon.
Why?
Because for big streamers, usually the cut of donations is 30% to Twitch, 50 or 70% to creators. They just changed it to 50-50. And they cut a bunch of benefits, and now they're changing things up. And it's so chaotic, and Twitch is losing so much money. And all the biggest creators are just leaving the platform and going to YouTube. The Twitch, it's probably going to stick around. It's not going to die, but just it's not going to be mainstream anymore.
I think, would you think like Twitch was always, it was like the mainstream for streaming, but do you think like YouTube has always been leading like video platform? Like,
well, YouTube is the second most popular search engine in the world.
Right, yeah.
Like
after Google, which both of them are owned by Google.
Like
so.
YouTube and TikTok, they're competing right now. But on TikTok, you can't just look up, how do I replace my floorboards? You can't do that, but you can do that for YouTube. And there's tons of tutorials.
Yeah.
That's why TikTok is switching over to longer form content, so they can monetize it too, because you can't put an ad in the middle of like a 30-second video.
Yeah, it's pointless.
It's pointless.
Switch off.
And so they're switching to longer form content so they can have that, and the creators can benefit off that as well.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of the creator fund too, I hope. I hope they're getting rid of the creator fund.
Do you think like TikTok is going to overtake YouTube? Like,
I can't speak on that because I don't know enough about it. I
don't think so.
It depends which department you're talking about.
Yeah.
Generally, overall, no. I don't think so.
Because YouTube has so much already core contents which are already there, like the basic fundamentals.
Yeah, like I can sit down and find a YouTube video on, I don't know, Gerber Life and all their scandals, and I can sit down, have that playing in the background while I work for half an hour and not have to touch my phone. But on TikTok, you gotta physically
you're
swipe.
just here continuing like that. And I don't use TikTok that much, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. And so why, coming back to the question, why do you think YouTube will disappear?
Because everything's
Well, that's either yes. One day we're all going to disappear.
That's what I mean.
As the human race, we're going to disappear one day.
Like,
but it's not like in the instant future, like in 10, 15
oh,
years.
no. I'm talking about like a couple hundred, like,
yeah.
As the landscape of the world changes and as the web changes its core values. You've heard of Web 3.0?
Yes, vaguely.
I don't fully understand it, but the web changes constantly. Eventually, it's gonna become so different that old platforms that are sticking to their core values, that are sticking to the core values of the old web, are gonna die out.
And has always been this way, like from 1.0.
It's always been this way.
Yeah, 1.0 to 2.0.
Yahoo's user design is awful. Everyone hates it.
Yeah.
I only use Hotmail accounts when I need to like get a free trial for something, and I can just make a garbage one. Everything comes to an end. That's all right.
Well, that's how life evolves. Life always evolves.
Yeah.
Thus far, like in 2 years, you've repaired like 1,000.
Probably like more.
More than 1,000.
Yeah.
And what are the devices or tech stuff things which you would top 5 items you would dream to repair one day?
I don't really dream to repair devices. Actually, no, I lied. An RTX 3090 Ti.
What is?
You know, no, lied. 100% lie. I know exactly what. Do you know? You know how computer graphics cards are fancy, right? They're expensive.
Yeah. And
everyone's like talking about them. The absolute top of the line one right now is an RTX 3090 Ti.
What's so special about this one?
It's like the top of the line one.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't a better one.
So is it used like in special cases?
Gaming. It's a gaming graphics card.
Yeah.
People use it for mining cryptocurrency too. People are probably gonna get mad that I said it's the best graphics card out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're going to bring up like server graphics cards like the A5000 that costs like thousands of dollars.
It's so much that you can afford something. Yeah.
No, a lot of people can't even afford it.
Yeah.
I've never seen one in person. That's how expensive they are.
Wow.
Like that has a 30... My laptop that the camera is plugged into right now for charging.
Yeah.
It has a 3060 in it, and the laptop was like $1,700.
$1,700. Wow.
Mostly because of the graphics card, and I bought that at the height of the graphics card crisis when supply chains were dying.
Oh no. Well, that's pretty messed up. Yeah. Like, do they really come out short of supply sometimes with stuff?
Do you want to hear what kind of caused the supply chain crisis?
Sure.
Okay, so when COVID hit, all of a bunch of manufacturers thought that sales were going to absolutely crash. Like car manufacturers and just manufacturers for general devices thought they were going to crash. So they didn't renew their contracts to make the chips for their devices. And it takes months to make a chip like that for a graphics card, or even like months to make one for a car. You know the chip crisis for the car?
Yeah. No.
Oh, like earlier last year, early this year, cars couldn't be manufactured because they didn't have the computer chips for them. Like to move made cars around the lot that didn't have the chip, they had to like take a chip out and then put it in another car so they could drive it, and then take it out and put it in it. And that was because when they dropped the contracts, they thought sales were going to go down, and it did at first. It absolutely tanked.
Yeah.
And then it shot up because people had a lot of money. Nobody was spending anything during COVID.
Yeah.
People had a lot of money. They were buying expensive things. They were buying cars. They were buying computers, things with chips in them. But when they went to go renew the contracts for the chips, other companies had already bought it up. So now, instead of months of backlogs because they didn't renew the contracts at first, they didn't have any contracts now. And so it took more time and more time and more time, and they built factories to make chips, and then one of the biggest ones burned down, and we're still feeling the effects of it now.
Wow.
That's why graphics cards are so expensive. Also because of cryptocurrency mining. I want to work on like the newest devices, but I want to have them myself and then work on them. So in case something goes wrong, because I've never worked with it before, it's my problem. If I break something on somebody else's device, usually I won't even charge them for the initial repair, and then I'll have to pay to repair the device fully.
Yeah.
Because that's just what you do. You don't. I've seen this a lot. Surprisingly, bad techs will break somebody's device and then continue to charge them for the repair that they caused. It's awful.
It's awful. Like, it's not the person like who had an issue. Like, could have been a minor issue, but like now adding up to it. It's just like I hate it. That's why I lost trust, and I'm trying to learn things by myself sometimes. How is SLC helping you? How does this course which you're taking right now?
Well, because for computer programming, I learned online, and I learned a lot. I have built apps before that have, like, 2 of them have already been deployed. I've built them with a couple of people. But I picked up other people's bad habits because I learned online. When you learn online, you have to learn that way. You pick up all the bad habits of other people. So I'm learning the right way.
Okay, and you think like you're at the right place at SLC?
100%. SLC is amazing.
Yeah. You what do you love about SLC?
Got that game. We got the games room. We got pool. We got we got game consoles. We have an amazing community. We have communal spaces.
Yeah.
We have the MUI Lounge, the Davies Hall. We have the Innovation Hub. Not a lot of other colleges have that. Like they do have hubs and things like that, but it's not the same as St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence is special.
Special. Oh, so it's really true because for me, like, it's the only college I've been to in Canada, basically. So I don't know the extent. Like, I know St. Lawrence has a good reputation, you know, but to that extent of saying, like, none of the college have it. So what would you say, like, what are many facets of St. Lawrence that are unique to you?
Unique to me?
Yeah.
Probably the constant community involvement by the student association. Yeah. There are so many events that they throw, and it's amazing.
Like, at this rate, like I work, like, I don't work directly with them, so they are their own, like, group of sections. So just to put up those events in short amount of times and making it happen, they do an absolutely great work. I say hats off to them. Like, I just host a podcast every week, but I'm like, wow, those guys do events, like, they are 3 in total, and they're just like 5 right now. So yeah, they do all those things, come up, and to make students, you know, have fun, you know. That's just, college life is also about having fun, you know. Like, you know, there are so many events. Like, I attended, like, the drag queen show. I attended, like, also, like, live concerts. Like, last Friday night, there was one. And, yeah, it's just so fun. Like, was there the games nights? The games nights are there where you play pool a lot?
I love that. I play pool a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I met you. Like, we were recording the podcast, and then I say, oh yeah, you guys come in, like, I'm mostly finished, and yeah, so that's how we met. Like, you were playing pool. And is there any your favorite spot around college?
Favorite spot? Not really. I just walk. If you ever see me, you'll see me walking probably, because I walk everywhere a lot. When I'm bored, I just walk. I don't like sitting down and just doing nothing.
People see me walking a lot also.
Yeah, you walk a lot.
I walk a lot. Like, you see me just walking around. What do I do? I just walk. Like, me too. It's being standing and walking for me is like just, it can be in movement, you know.
Like breathing. Yeah. Literally, it is like,
yeah, except when I'm doing the podcast, I'm like sitting a lot. So,
well, yeah, but now we're like, you're engaged in something.
Yeah, it's like a conversation. So, like, even like, I work in a standing office. So good. I'm so happy I have a standing office. Like, it's just for me, I love, like, standing. I don't know why. Just standing is fun.
My desk is a little bit, my workbench is a little bit short, so if I stand, I have to be, like, hunched over. Like, even right now, you can see my posture isn't impeccable. Yeah,
but even mine is not very good. Like, I tend to slouch a bit like that. So I should be really, like, standing like this, but I always incline a little bit just to get, become comfortable.
It's comfy.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off.
Tomorrow, like, you become, like, the head of innovation at SLC, you know, like, you can basically do any creative project.
I love doing creative projects. I love it. I don't do it often because not a lot of people know to bring things like this to me, but I love creating custom machines and devices for people. Like, a lot of people, they have these ideas of what they want to make. They don't know how to make it, or it just sits in the back of their mind. Mm-hmm. That's where I come in. That's what I do.
And so what would you do if you were at SLC tomorrow? Like, you could implement a project or something that would...
I would fix their website. I would fix SLC's... Oh. SLC's website navigation is awful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In which way do you think it's awful? Like...
They're terrible at describing their programs.
Well, it's on. If that was the thing.
I'm talking directly to you. I know who you are. I don't actually know.
Well, hey, like, I'm sure they would love recommendation to improve their website for sure. I love a website personally. I think I get lost. Like, for example, the website, I can get lost very easily. Like,
I'm talking about the little small things. Like, you hover over something and then the little box that comes up is confusing.
Yeah,
that's weird. It makes me feel weird.
For me, like, for example, when I look at the program pages, it has a side menu to it, and then I just click on it and I know what it is. So for me, it's pretty... I've seen worse websites. Definitely I've seen worse website than the center, right?
Yahoo.
Can we call it a website? It's like... It's still very old schoolish. It looks the same like it was in 2009.
Have you seen Craigslist?
Oh my...
It hasn't changed.
Oh my... Craigslist is... It seems like a place where, like, you will get scammed a lot. It already gives you the vibe, hey, you're going to get scammed.
Oh my god, Facebook Marketplace is worse than Craigslist.
Like, yeah, I know what you mean by Facebook. Like, it's so hard. Like, you have to save the things which you want to save. You know, like, for example, just looking for latest posts, like...
Oh, no, I mean, like, as a seller. It's buyers and sellers and Facebook Marketplace. And even people's behavior on it.
Oh yeah.
I'll post something. Hey, this is $5, and then they'll try to negotiate it down to. Would you take $4 for this? No, it's $5. No. And I'll have like 20 people message me. Hey, is this still available? And I'll say yes, it's still available, and they'll just ghost me from there.
It's like really like I hate the automated responses. Write what you want. Like, every time I send a message, or when I was looking for an off-campus room, I sent a whole message. Hey, this is what I'm looking for.
And then they don't respond at all.
They don't respond. I hate it. Like, I took my time. And you don't respond? Who do you think you are? Like, well, you don't. But at least, hey, I read your message. I'll come back to you. Or like, hey, it takes 10 seconds to write this. You know, just.
Even if I'm even okay if you say you're gonna get back to me and then you don't. Like, that's fine. Just at least acknowledge, and you can see that they've seen it.
Yeah, you can see that. That's so maniacal. Like, yeah, you've seen it and you don't care. I do it sometimes also. Like, I also do it sometimes. I want to be on the podcast. Why? I just want to be on the podcast. Okay.
Oh, that was the other guy. We're doing ASMR.
Back again. So... tomorrow, like, you want to do any project that you want to do that would, you have unlimited budget, unlimited resource, and you get all the approval, and it can be done magically tomorrow. What would it be?
Moving sidewalks, like, you know, in an airport.
Yeah.
You can have it's like moving sidewalks, and it's got like little transfer points, and you just stand, and you go, and that's it. Just to every single class, it's modular. They can switch like train tracks off the stairs, everything.
So you have like at the start, you have a menu. Take me to room 204.
No, it'd be like a bus stop where you have to know where to step to the side to get onto the other one.
Okay. And so now people know you who have seen you on this podcast or listen to you. Can students approach you to, hey, Cian, I need to repair my laptop. I need to repair my headset. Yeah. Anything like that? Can they come to you? Hey.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely encourage it.
Yeah.
If it's something that doesn't require soldering or a microscope or just complex tools, I could probably do it on the spot.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not joking. I have everything I need for mobile repair in my bag.
Yeah, that's so cool. And if there's anything which require additional, can they give it to you? Like you will do it like, hey, here's like, Cian, in 2 or 3 days or in 1 week, can I have it or anything like that?
Well, what I would do is I would try to find the problem so I know what I would need. Like if it's not powering on, I would open it then and there to see if the battery was puffed up or if there was a visually broken component, or just remove magic touch, take everything apart, put it back together, see if it works. If that doesn't work, I can let them know that it's a board level issue, and then it would be kind of pricey, like $20 for diagnosis minimum.
Yeah.
And then they can choose whether to go forward from there instead of just me taking it and taking a couple days and then like rough communication. That's weird. It feels weird to me to not be involved in the repair of your device because it's yours. You deserve to know what's going on.
True. And would you say, like, do you mind me asking, how much are your fees? Like,
it's pretty rough. Like,
it's varies really.
Like charging port. If we're in the cafeteria, you come to me. You need your charging port cleaned out. Just buy me like a muffin from Timmy's.
Yeah.
Or if it's like your laptop screen needs to be replaced and I have the screen in stock, like $20-$30 on top of the screen. Or if I already have the screen like $20, because that's the glory of scrappy. You can repair things for cheaper than other places. Really, like, not much.
That's so cool. Like, I think you deserve so much more, man. Like, you do such amazing work, and like, but I'm so grateful that you have this mindset of also like
broke college students. If I charge too much, you're just gonna not get it repaired, and you're gonna be out money to buy a new one, and then it's just gonna be a pain for you. I want life to be easy for people.
True, I agree with you, and the world need more people like you, definitely. And where can they reach you? Where can students reach you? On Instagram.
Instagram. I've got a business card. It's got my email and my phone number, and I'm gonna get my.
I'll put the business card down there.
Okay.
I'll put the business card, the email, phone number. It will be right here, right now.
Or Instagram, Afrotech Computers.
Afrotech Computers.
Or even if you know me or have my Snap or Insta, just ask around.